Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about getting started. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christina. I am a photographer, but today I want to talk about getting started on what? Getting started on what? Well, whatever it is you're getting started on. For me, I am working on a mini documentary. That's my project that I've just recently started working on. And it's a project that I've given myself that I wanted to do to try something new in the realm of photography. I've done a little bit of video, obviously YouTube, but nothing really big. This would be my first really big project. So why am I doing this? First of all, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. Last year, I commissioned my husband to make a theme song for my YouTube channel, which he so lovingly did. And I liked the song so much, I wanted to have a full version of it so I could listen to as I was driving around in the car. And he very kindly agreed to make an extended version. And as he was doing that, I was recording him on my X-T3, just learning some of the video settings and things like that. And as I did it, I ended up, with all this footage of him making the song. And I thought, oh, this would be fun if I could put it together and maybe share it on Instagram so our family or friends could see it. When I first started doing it, I didn't intend for it to go anywhere other than for me just to learn some video settings on my camera. But as I started putting it together for Instagram, I thought to myself, oh, this would be a great series if I could record and film people doing kind of their own thing. And so I created this series called In Their Element, where I document people doing whatever it is that they do, whether it's making music or having a garden or being a mom or whatever it is they're doing. Whatever their element is, I would document them in that arena. But this project that I'm doing is something different. It's going to be something bigger because what I learned in watching the video that I made about my husband, I really like the way it looks overall, but like the audio could have been so much better. And again, there wasn't any audio really because I wasn't intending it to be anything. It was just the audio from the camera itself. But as I watch it, I'm like, oh, I wish the audio was better, or oh, I wish I could have done this better, or I wish I could have done that. So enter this project. I really wanted to do my best to take on this project. So in preparation, I've got my equipment, I got my tripods, I have my cameras, I've got my lenses, I've got my audio, I've got my SD cards, lights, things that I know I will need to really make the best use of my time as I'm working on this project. And then I even did my first interview. I sat and the interview went really well. The lighting was lovely. The recording went great. I learned some things as I was recording during that time also, which I'll share later. But I mean, overall, everything went really well. And after I finished and I came and I uploaded everything to my computer and I backed up everything to my external and did all of that, I just froze. Like I didn't know what to do after that. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to approach the next step. And because to me, the next step seemed like, boom, I'm supposed to be finished, which obviously that's not the next step. But in my mind, it was like, okay, now you've gotten started, now you got to finish. That's not how things go. But again, in my mind, that's what I was seeing. And so I froze. I completely stopped. I didn't do anything for like 2 weeks almost. And I didn't look at my computer. I didn't want to turn it on. I didn't want to think about the project. I didn't want to acknowledge that it was sitting there because I was just so nervous and felt very anxious, and it was very overwhelming and daunting, the idea of the magnitude of what I was trying to do. because it was my first time. I'd never done this before. And I had to remind myself of that. Like, this is new. You're not going to get it right all the first time. And so instead of working on my film, I was watching like how to, you know, make a documentary, how to do this, how to do that. And then just all of these other things were just kind of getting in my head, and some of them were helpful and others were just like, oh, great. Well, I didn't do that, or I don't have that, or there's no way I can do this, you know? And so it kind of just played on my mental state at that time. And so what I really had to do was just take a step back, think about why I was doing this project, what I'm doing it for. Again, this is my project. Nobody asked me to do this. Nobody gave me a deadline but myself. So if I need to move the deadline, I can move the deadline. It's okay. But you know, when you're in the moment, sometimes you don't remember those things. And so what I did was I started to just take everything a step at a time. And my first step was go to the computer, open up a project, make, you know, the film project name in the editing software, and just move the first folder, you know, files that you have right now. Move the files over, put them in order so you can know what where they belong, you know, kind of get it organized. Move the audio in, and then just start there. You don't have to start editing anything, but just move it in there. Get it in there so you can start whenever it is that you finally decide to start. So that was my first day. And that actually took a while because the files were kind of big, and so it took a while for that. So that was fine. And then the next day I thought to myself, okay, if I can match the audio that I have, the external audio that I recorded with the video, that would be a great help. Okay, so let's do that. So I did that, took a little while, but I got it because I'm pretty decent with audio, having been a former, you know, DJ and things like that. So that went really well. And then once I got that, I was like, okay, now let's see what we can do. Let's start listening to what we have. And then I started implementing all those things that I had seen on the YouTube videos that I'd been watching on how to make documentaries and how to edit, and, you know, tips and tricks and things like that. And those, once I got started, were so helpful. And I was like, oh, okay, now I get why they say you should do this, or I get why people do that. And again, it all started to kind of flow together. Now, am I worlds along where I would like to be? No. But am I still moving? Yes. It's a bit slower pace, again, because it's my first time and I'm learning. And I'm only one person on this project, so it's okay. I've got to remind myself to be kind to myself, which is not always very easy. But there you have it. And so now I've got a second interview under my belt, and I'm looking forward to working on that once I finish this first phase. But I'm just spending a little time each day working on it. I have a timer. I give myself about 30 minutes. I'll work on it, sit down, because that's about all I can have with my kids. I've got two small ones. And then I'll take a break. I'll be with them. And when it's nap time, I'll go sit down and I'll try to do a little bit more. And then at night, I'll try to do a little bit more. But just taking it in little increments. And I've already gotten quite a bit along than where I was, obviously, a week ago. So I'm really excited, and I'm kind of rejuvenated, and it was just a good reminder to myself and hopefully to you all, if you're getting started, whether in photography or video or any kind of project, a new job, and, you know, getting married, a family, I don't know, just take it a step at a time. And eventually you'll get there, and try not to be too hard on yourself if it doesn't work out the way you hope it works out right away, but learn from those mistakes, and we'll get there. We're going to get there together. We're learning, and that's okay. That's okay. When I created this channel about 5 or 6 years ago, I created it with the intent of sharing things that I've learned along the way. Most of those things obviously being with photography, but now that I'm kind of venturing into video and film, I use that loosely. I wanted to continue to share things that I've learned along the way. And so, not that this is going to turn into a film channel that I know of at this time, but this is what I'm working on currently. And this is what I'm going through. And so I wanted to share that with you all. And hopefully it will be helpful to you all, as it was helpful to me to remind myself to just take it a step at a time. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Feel free to give it a like or share with anybody that you think might need this. But I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Lots of love.